Yes.
Alright, so for those of you just tuning in, I'm about to give my commentary on a 3v3 Arabia game between my viewers as part of my weekly Twitch TV live streams. If you'd like to get in on this, you can find my live streaming schedule by going to my Twitch page and scrolling underneath the video player there. And if you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, you will know when I'm live streaming next. In this particular match, we have a very interesting set of civilizations. We've got Kaladin playing as the Japanese, the Grey Japanese, teaming up with McKay, the Blue Saracens, and then Element LF will be the Purple Koreans. In the opposing team, we got the Yellow Incas, Memoriam, Pete, Green Burmese, and Dudubadap, the Red Huns. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the game. During this match, as always, I'll be giving you all my commentary on the players' civilizations and strategy choices to improve your overall understanding of the game. If you are looking for more Age of Empires tutorials, expert game commentaries, gameplay videos, and videos for a wide variety of other games, you are in the right place, where everyone's ping is exactly 500 what? Or contains a 7. Well, that's not how games are normally supposed to begin, but ignoring that aside, we're in the game. It's a 3v3 Arabia with some very high-rated Age of Empires 2 HD Edition players. I am a little bit sick today. The plague has been going around the office at work, and oh my, McKay has got some faraway forests. So I'm still recovering from my cold, and I just casted an extremely epic game between Doubt and Vinchester, which took quite a lot of energy out of me. So now it's time to unwind with some nice relaxing 3 versus 3 Arabia, which is of course not relaxing in the slightest because Arabia is what we refer to as an open map in Age of Empires 2, where it's very difficult to wall. For example, let's look at Pete's base. Considering that Pete is never lucky, his base, oh my god, he doesn't have a forest like anywhere near him. Now what I did is I took the Green Arabia custom map, the one that's played online all the time, and I just replaced the trees with the new ones. I didn't actually change any of the base code, so Pete just got unlucky. As we can tell, it's going to be very difficult for Pete to actually wall in this game. So, if he is adjacent to somebody, which it looks like he is, of course, he is adjacent to McKay. McKay will be his flank. These two players are going to be duking it out in the early game for sure. A closed map would be something like Black Forest or Arena that is fairly easy to wall. And the other thing that influences your strategy and whether or not offensive or defensive play is a necessity is also your positioning in the team. So Pete is the flank of his respective team, which will be these 3 handsome gentlemen. And then these 3 handsome gentlemen over there, equally handsome I might add, will be the opposing team. Flank, 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 pocket, pocket. The pocket players, usually in Age of Empires 2, will attempt to get to the castle age fairly quickly on a map like this, and then try and leverage the powerful stats and movement speed of a unit such as the Knight, usually, and try and raid the crap out of their opposing flanks. Now, since this is a 3v3 and not a 4v4, one of the interesting dynamics is which flank will the pocket actually decide to assist, and that we will have to see. Let's see how the civilizations ended up, because that's also going to be rather instrumental. So, Saracens flank, that's alright. Honestly, the Saracens bonus, where their archers get +1 attack versus buildings, is a little better than it seems. It actually allows the Saracens to pick off enemy palisade walls a little bit quicker. This civilization is not excellent on the flank because it doesn't have that much of an eco bonus, but the discount on the market and the extra attack versus buildings and the archers can help a little bit in the early game, so that's something. How is this matchup going to be versus Pete? Well, so Pete's the Burmese, so I think he's going to have, without a doubt, some early game dominance, and this is due to the fact, of course, that the Burmese have free lumber camp upgrades and their infantry get +1 attack per age. If you miss that real quickly, then what you should do instead is go to the video description below and watch my Burmese civilization overview to get a full in-depth overview of all things Burmese, or you can just go back and pause there. But we don't want to miss out on any of the action. Here comes the Rhino lure from Pete, trying to lure it underneath his town center. This is much more efficient than milling it if his villager can survive, but that's a long lure, and his map gen is bad, and the game is lagging, and I'm getting a subscription, and he's gonna live. Nice, nice, nice. Thank you so much, Aoe2, for your 2-month resub. It's been a real pleasure having you around since you showed up in my stream. Thank you. Aoe2 says, Berserks are love, Berserks are life. Berserks look very nice, Berserks are sexy, and they rock, and I just want to wear their badass torn helmets. Love Aoe2 the teal. For those of you who have not seen my How Good Are the Vikings on Land Maps video, you should definitely check that out, because it showcases Aoe2 showing us exactly just how good Berserks are on land maps. I'm not going to spoil the video for you, but let's just say, it's pretty awesome. So, Pete narrowly avoiding death there. Pretty nice. The Burmese, with the free lumber camp upgrades and the +1 attack on infantry, I mean, both of those things don't come online until the feudal age, but once they do come online, they're really strong. Double bit axe is probably one of the most powerful economic technologies in the entire game, so it's very heavily prioritized by any good player. So it turns out that you need wood for basically everything, and having better wood income allows you to build more buildings, more houses, more farms, so you get more food, more mining camps, so you get more gold, more stone. Hopefully that makes sense, right? Double bit axe is also super cheap and researches absurdly quickly, so you need to get it early. And these guys get it for free, as well as bow saw and two-man saw. Ooh, Pete narrowly avoiding death of his scout. This is very important, as scouting in Age of Empires 2 is basically everything. And Pete going aggressive right now just so he can just get a glimpse of what McKay is up to. Any information he can glean. He gets nothing, though. Pete will have no idea what McKay's build is. And perhaps that will be the topic of this video. I'm not sure. As always, you just check the title if you want to see what's actually happened, like what the topic of the video is actually going to be. I'm not going to title this Pete almost loses vills several times but never actually does nicely done. Seems good, because that doesn't really work very well from a search engine optimization standpoint, and also it's a pretty clunky title. But who knows, man, who knows? Put that in the tags. The scouting's super important here. And that's why McKay is going to move forward now. I'd say that Pete probably is a little early on any sort of aggressive scouting. And in general, you want to head out and try and find your opponent around the 8-minute mark is usually when you get some very valuable information. So here's the types of things he's going to be looking for. Where's the gold at? Well, Pete is finding 3 villagers on the gold. That signifies a lot of things. But regardless, this is not a scout rush, of course. Well, actually, wait, it's not entirely clear. This is a really fast fuel time. 3 on gold? He's got the barracks coming down? Interesting. But McKay will probably see that. Let's go swap over to McKay's perspective just to double check on that. Did McKay see that? I did not. That's really bad. And he's like one tile off that. And he's gonna run straight underneath the down center! Ah, but the fast reaction speed from him, I think his scout will live. Yes, just barely dodged that. He does see the barracks, so he knows that Pete is going to make some sort of early game military units. Oh, interesting. So he assigned 3 villagers to gold here, but only 2 of them are actually on gold. He's just 3 building the mining camp. Okay, so this is men-at-arms rush, probably from Pete then, so that makes sense. Especially with the early barracks. Good news is McKay sees the barracks, so he has a reasonable idea of what's going on, and now Pete is inside his own base and trying to glean as much information as possible. So he sees the main gold, right? Which is completely empty on McKay's end. So what does that mean? Could be scouts. It's a goldless strategy. Now, yeah, maybe I'll talk about scouting a lot in this video. I'm already liking this. Let's go to Pete's vision. Has he found the secondary lumber camp? Of course he hasn't. It's this incomplete information that's so decisive. Is that a dead villager there? No, it's probably like a dead wild animal. Okay. Yeah, so McKay, we know he's probably going for a scout rush here because there's no one mining any gold, and Pete knows this. So what I'm curious about is if Pete's going to respond in turn by making a spearman with his men-at-arms. I actually think that'd be an excellent play. Because Bat says, why don't you title the video, "You won't believe how these villas survived a rhino charge." Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so men-at-arms rush is usually 2 on gold because that's just all the gold you need for men-at-arms because they cost only 20 gold each. You would expect 3+ villagers on gold for archers, usually more than 3. 3 on gold is like a fast castle age, and then 3+ for archers, you know, it's probably like 4 to 7. Depends on how many ranges you have. And then 2 is usually almost always men-at-arms. Need a little bit of gold for the men-at-arms upgrade itself. This is a very strong strategy for the Burmese because they get that extra +1 attack, which allows them to trade super favorably, and now the scouts are coming out from McKay. I think that the strategy really favors Pete because McKay won't have a clean answer to this. The men-at-arms actually do trade favorably with the scout cavalry, especially with the +1 attack. And also, when Pete's going for a barracks-oriented build, I'm really curious if he's going to send a single forward spearman with him. That is an option. I can understand why he wouldn't, but that is an option. Because the men-at-arms apply significantly more offensive pressure, and he probably feels like he doesn't need it because he is just faster to the feudal age. So he's going to get free pick-off on the villager here, send another men-at-arms in to reinforce this army, and notice how he's also bringing his scout in here. But one of the things that's going to be decisive in this particular game is, once again, scouting. I really like that McKay has a secondary lumber camp that Pete just hasn't found, and this has won me so many games by doing this. I also like that... I was going to say, like, I like his mill positioning because he would be able to get those ostriches, but unfortunately he can't. This Komodo dragon whittling down that men-at-arms is actually quite bad, but with a hill advantage and a couple swipes, should be able to take that one down. Good quick ball by McKay will keep him alive. Meanwhile, let's look at the other sides of the map real fast. So element LF is going to be our Korean's flank. The Korean's flank is really bad unless you're going for a tower rush. Speak of the devil, Men-at-Arms tower rush. Nice. Oh man, it's cold. Rip Resonance 22. I hope you guys have been enjoying the Age of Empires 2 and content for other games, because... oh, it's going to be the last video. I think I'm going to die. I'll be fine. I'm just kidding, of course. So... what is this? The Huns versus Koreans. Oh, that is like one of the worst matchups in AOC. It's not the worst, but it's one of them. Because the Koreans have no substantial early game eco bonus. Faster stone mining is generally garbage compared to never having to build houses. You save a lot of wood in the long run with that. And also the Huns have stables that work 20% faster and super strong cav archers. And they're great civ. So, Huns really aggressive early game civilization. The Koreans are actually a good civilization in general too. Oh my god! Ah! Pan the camera away, cut the video, no one saw that, so... of course I'm gonna pan the camera back, that was amazing. That was beautiful. That was beautiful, my man. Oops, we've all done that before. Well fought, I concede. Don't lose the scout too, buddy. Oh, no, it's a Jabate. Jabate, look at all the free damage he's doing to those scouts. Another one. Nice. Alright, not bad. So, the Koreans are actually a really good civilization, Age of Empires too. It's worth noting that civs and Aoe2, it's not a black and white thing. They all excel in different situations and different maps, unless you're Unit OP, in which the Vikings serve. They just excel everywhere, including on land. Fuck it. Wow, did he kill all those villagers too? That's great. He probably killed most of them. So we're gonna need some help from Kaladin in the pocket. Kaladin is presumably on his way to the castle age. Yes, he is. Probably assisting with knights. Yep, just like I said earlier. And on the opposing side of the map, Memoriam is the pocket, so that's weird. So it looks like he... not having access to knights is no choice but to go for the Eagle Warrior. Fascinating. I think this build is not bad at all. I think my CLI browser is also not working at all either. So you might not have seen that pop up on the screen. I'm going to try and fix that real fast. Oh, weird. Or maybe you did see it. Regardless, thank you so much, JS Bach, for subscribing to my channel with Twitch Prime. Hope to see you in the future. For those of you who use Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to me for free every month. It's a great way to put food on the table and support my channel without costing you any money, assuming you're already using Amazon Prime. And if you're like me, Amazon Prime is a pretty awesome service. Please sponsor me. Anyway, good fight here by McKay. Picking off some of Pete's army before he can actually regroup. Great focus fire as well from him, taking advantage of the hill. However, the men-at-arms, they're too strong, they're too tanky. We'll be able to clean up the rest of that army, thus putting McKay at a pretty sizable disadvantage. But Memoriam with the Incan Eagle Warriors. How good are Eagle Warriors compared to Knights? Well, in the expansions, you can upgrade them for 300 food and 200 gold, and they gain an additional Pierce armor, and that's actually fairly significant compared to AOC. And they also gain 5 extra HP. I think that improves their attack bonuses slightly too. What that means is that the unit is a lot better versus crossbowmen, which typically dominate the Castle Age flank metagame, and then the Castle Age pocket metagame is usually dominated by Knights. The Eagle Warriors do lose to Knights usually, but you can get the Eagle Warriors out faster, overwhelm your opponent, and it's less of a burn in your economy, right? It's much easier to build barracks than it is to build stables, and also the gold resource, it's much easier to mine gold than it is to have a ton of lumberjacks and sustain a lot of farms, and it's also very difficult to protect those farms as your base expands. So Pete's also gonna walk underneath the town center a little bit, trying to get a little too aggressive, and this will allow McKay to clean him up. Now, he's put himself in quite... Welcome to the stream, Harbash. Good to see you. He says, I'm glad to see you streaming. How are you doing? I'm doing great. I'm a little sick, but having fun watching some Age of Empires 2, and it's great to have all you here watching with me, so thank you for tuning in. So, Pete's inevitably going to have to pull out, because he knows the Knights are coming. In fact, the Knights are already there. That sucks. So, McKay put himself in a tough situation by going for the Scouts opening versus the Burmese, but he didn't have the scouting information really to know that was coming, and it worked out for him anyway, right? Because he wanted to apply some early pressure. I don't think McKay would have wanted to just really passively open up with archers. I think that would have been okay, but he just didn't have the scouting information to really know in hindsight that that would have been the better answer to the men-at-arms rush. I do like the stone wall, though. Like, he could actually close this off. That's pretty sick. Now Pete's in the awkward position, and things are looking much better for McKay. So why exactly is that? That's because Pete wants to get to the Castle Age, right? So he needs to transition to something that doesn't cost food and gold like a Men-at-Arms does. He wants to start making archers, which are just a great little Castle Age power spike with crossman, bodkin arrow upgrades, which are super cheap, fast research. This kind of forces him to make some spearmen and whatnot to try and defend against these knights, which will also slow down his castle time further, and until you have enough archers, the knights just destroy them. He's going to have difficulty hitting that critical mass, but thankfully, though, Pete, not born yesterday, not with those wrinkles, of course, will make a couple spearmen to keep himself alive. What this is doing, though, this pressure from Kaladin is giving McKay map control, which he very heavily desires, allowing him to stone wall on Green Arabia, the madman. Meanwhile, I haven't talked too much about this Element LF build, but that's one way to play the Koreans, I do suppose. So the title of this video will be The Importance of Scouting, and holy shit, that's a lot of towers, Element. What are you doing? Full Stonewall Saracens, full Watchtower Koreans, and scouting also wins games. P.S. What? Okay, so notice how he's daisy chaining these watchtowers together because watchtowers have minimum range, and you ideally want to make sure that they're in range of each other to cover the base. Otherwise, melee units will just be able to pick them off. That's a masterpiece, indeed, El Commander. I'm digging this one. So we talked about earlier, Koreans don't have that strong early game. They're insanely powerful in Black Forest in the late game. Why is this build working? Well, Dedubadap's a little bit distracted, so he's not raiding with the scouts, and also a couple of defensive spearmen that are well positioned like this. Should be able to keep him relatively safe. One downside to this strategy, though, of course, is that it will put him in a situation, eventually Element LF, where he'll be like, when am I going to get to the Castle Age ever? Okay, he's actually not that far behind on that one. He has way more towers than I really think he could possibly have. That's actually nuts. Oh, I was about to say, I couldn't see the Eagle Warriors at all because they're underneath the blue units. So, Morium doing some serious Eagle Warrior raiding, as if McKay he just didn't need this right now, taking a lot of punishment. But what's great about Kaladin's timing with his knights is that he's giving McKay the opportunity to forfeit military production entirely and actually get a reasonable castle age. And I think this is very smart of McKay to do this, to not make any military units, and use the momentum and the space created with Kaladin's knights to allow him to full stone wall on Arabia, create some space, get a castle age. Because let's imagine a situation where he didn't do that, where he tried making military units and continually pressuring Pete. Then when the Eagle Warriors come in, he's just dead because he's never going to get to the castle age. At least here he can put down a town center or something and boom back up. And Kaladin, as we can see, will come out on top of this trade. The Eagle Warriors do have like a +3 attack bonus for his cavalry, so they do trade a little bit better than it seems with knights, but it's still not that great. It's the numbers and the ease of making them that helps out. And they're also a little bit better versus, like, it depends. But this is much easier in your eco, right? Because it doesn't cost so much food. But the slight movement speed advantage, ugh. I think that as well, Eagle Warriors have like 1.2 movement speed, and then like Eagle Scouts at 1.1, so that also gets improved. Yeah, these are going to get picked up here. I think Memoriam doesn't have squires, and that's what's going on. Okay, so what do you do if you're Dedubadap in this situation versus the Korean Mega Trush, which is something I wish I was talking more about during this particular video. So Dedubadap in the Castle Age don't really have much in the realm of cash. And if there's one thing that I want you to know in life is generally true, is that having a lot of money makes things easier. And in this case, Dedubadap does not have that much money. He will be able to get the Castle Age before Element LF, who's probably not too far behind him. Yeah, Element LF is on his way up. Dedubadap went to the Castle Age. I think this is fine, honestly, because these towers are stationary, and if he can get away with this, then that puts him in a fantastic situation. Here comes a big battle over here. Burmese Spearman with the +1 attack is excellent. It's now up to +2. Fletching, very, very important when dealing with knights. Anything with high pierce armor, you want to make sure that you're dealing more than 1 damage to them. Oh, good, there actually is space, so the Eagle Warriors can get in there. How good is the control? It's alright. It's good enough. He's going to focus fire down the knights. Okay, so the control is actually pretty good. Will he be able to mop up this army? Yeah, they will be able to mop up this army. That's great. That's going to really catapult Pete back into the game. Now he's in the Castle Age. Every time the Burmese advance through the ages, they gain another power spike due to the new woodcutting bonus. So now with the free bow saw, which is, if you watch my Night Rush tutorial, approved by the Viper, Niltfair, and other expert players, then you would know that bow saw is one of the first things you should get when you get to the Castle Age all the time to get Elo fast. It's a really powerful technology, and the Burmese get it for free. So, great battle here. Memoriam really showcasing the power of Castle Age Eagle Warriors. I never know what to tell in my videos anymore when there's all these interesting things going on. Well, this is Trush. So, the main downside of the Trush, I talk about this a lot, is that these towers, until one day they release this, if God forbid, please don't, where towers can just like get up, uproot themselves, and just walk around. Notice how Purple Element LF has no actual defense in his base because all of his stuff is inside the Dedubadap's base. Now, when the Koreans get to the Castle Age, they get all their tower upgrades for free, which is great, because now they get to pick up all these villagers. I mean, Dedubab's pretty crippled too, but this guy can't defend himself. When you forward your opponent, it's just one of those natural systems in Age of Empires 2, where it really punishes you if your opponent is able to actually do aggressively. And Dedubab, you know, he made a gamble, and I think that was the correct one. It was get to the Castle Age, try and get like a few knights out, raid your opponent, make sure that he's as weak as you are, and look at all these idle villagers, right? Just keep applying that pressure. Because these towers, I mean, it's a slow creeping game of map control with the Korean Mega Trush versus the Huns. But Dedubab really is an economy so small you need a microscope to see it. And same with Element LF. So he's going to have to rely on Memoriam to defend him, and it looks like Memoriam will successfully defend him. So what a great game so far. And now Pete with a... This isn't... And I was going to say with like a reasonably aggressive castle placement. I almost said a passive-aggressive castle placement, but you can't have a passive-aggressive castle placement. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, I guess I'll put it here, if that's okay with you, McKay. Fine. Well, you know, this is not... A defensive castle would be, like, over here, right? Which protects the stone, the wood, this town center, and these farms, or like over here. I actually would have put it over here, personally. I understand why Pete didn't. There actually is a hole here, so I don't think it... I really actually think that this castle probably should have been put here. Yeah, you have to ask yourself how important the rush distance is. Oh, welcome to the stream, Barbarous King. Good to see you. You have to ask yourself how important the rush distance is, and, you know, by him putting this here, yeah, the Arambai are pretty slow. They're exactly the same speed as Knight, which isn't, like, that fast. But I don't think there's that much to be gained from putting this castle here. I mean, yeah, it protects the stone and whatnot, and it threatens this gold a little bit. It helps a bit with map control, but I think I would have put it here just so he'd be a little less vulnerable to raiding. But you know me, I love my defensive castles, and if you watched enough of my videos, you see how many of them I win because of that. But Pete is a more aggressive player than me, and he really wants to put the pressure on. And if you do, then this is the right place to put that castle down. However, he just walked face first into stone walls on Arabia, which is pretty sick. Now, okay, with a slightly more defensive castle placement. I mean, what's nice about this one is it protects the golden stone. It is Treb fodder, though, but I mean, so is this one. But Pete has the map control. Like, one of the reasons why he is comfortable with going for this kind of build and putting the castle here is he knows he has map control, and the Arambai are mobile enough that it's going to help him solidify that even further. When you stonewall up like this, you're making a valuable trade-off. Sure, you feel safe, but you're boxing yourself into a corner, and if you guys watched the last game of my stream, Winchester versus Doubt, you know what happens when you box yourself into a corner all game. You'll lose out map control, you have no information on what your opponent's doing, you have no access to external resources, and then Pete gets to go around raiding things. Meanwhile, Kaladin and Memoriam duking it out. Eagle Warriors and Komodo Dragons versus Knights and Pikemen. Wow. I think that Komodo Dragon claimed to kill, but he's hungry for more. You what, mate? The villager just slaps him across the face, and he's down for the count. Elbow. Wow. That is... insult to injury, man. Brutal. Alright, so, Dedubab. He's putting down the TCs. He really wants to try and take advantage of just how not mobile these towers are, and just outboom his opponent. He thinks that he can get away with that. And I think he can too. Except for the fact that Pete has realized that what do you do when your opponent has stone walled? Don't be the AI. The AI does two things. One, they either hump the walls, or they attempt to walk through them into like a maze of towers. No, actually just look for a hole that's in a reasonable location. Sometimes the AI does that. And in this case, fantastic. However, Pete has his army split up, so he has set himself up to be potentially ambushed by two separate armies of knights. Can these two coordinate against one man? That is the question, and I think the answer is no. Yeah, the Arambai are not so... Ugh! God, this is dangerous. I'm going to switch over to Pete's perspective so we can watch this army disappear. Alright, 3 versus 1. Who's better at micro? Three-headed ogre. Look at the Arambai accuracy. Only 25% accurate in the Castle Age. Is seen as much better in close range. And boy, is it okay versus knights sometimes in close range. Fairly good micro because he's keeping all these knights busy over here while he gets free pot shots off with his crossbows. Now, where is the rest of the team? Team where? Well, you got two team here. This Mangonel? Yeah, I mean, okay, I know Gray and Blue are here. We have a Mangonel shot. Great control here by Pete. Can Pete 3v1? That's the question. Oh boy! Oh boy, let's do it! Ah, but here comes the Mangonel. Okay, look. Oh, that was a bad Mangonel shot, though. Oh, that was even a worse Mangonel shot. Ah, go for the crossbows! He's gonna do it now, and I think he's gonna get it. No, he's not! absolute disaster. Oh my god, Pete is like actually kind of 3v1ing them, but not really. And here comes Memoriam from the sky. Praise be the Castle Age Eagle Warriors, gonna clean up this army. I mean, that could not have gone better for Pete, to be honest. He was surrounded by mangonels on all sides and he's being attacked by 3 players, but the coordination was not there from our friends. Not at all. Now, this is a Korean's build. I'm not gonna say it's a good build. I'm not gonna say it's a bad build, but it's a build. He's got buildings and places that are applying pressure to things. Wow. So, the Dubidap is trying to remove these with mangonels and repair the mangonels as villagers, which is one of the safer ways to remove guard tower. However, these guard towers are very, very strong. Let me rephrase that. This is one of the safer ways to remove a watchtower, not a guard tower. Why is that? Because guard towers deal 2 damage to mangonels minimum. In this case, 3. So how well does this work? Not much at all, as we see this mangonel disintegrating. And once again, very out of position. Oh. Easy for me to say that in retrospect, though, of course. The pressure is on. But I would have to say, in this case, what Dubidap needs, he mostly needs money. He needs help. He needs cash, which most people need. He needs like cash, battering rams, etc. Now he's going to need mangonels to deal with the opposing battering rams, now that purple is just... Do you even need military units to win the game? Can you just make buildings? Purple is going to try and answer the question in today's video. Do you actually need military units to win Age of Empires? I don't know. Lucas Bat says the green, yellow, and pink team have all 3 corners of map presence, and blue, red, and gray have none, indeed, or 1. Lucas Bat says the Eagles descend from the skies to save the Arambai. Indeed they do. Indeed they do. And here they come! Poor Gray. Wow, that is a lot of villagers on that mining camp, and it's gone. Now, Gray has a very large army of knights. The Japanese have bloodlines in the expansions, thus giving them an excellent, well-rounded tech tree. Memoriam just playing out of his mind, really showcasing the power of the Incan Eagle Warriors, and he's in the Imperial Age now, and he's even got the Couriers upgrade, giving them tons and tons of armor, the Tutanki, like Dr. Mundo with 5 Warmogs. This guy's walking around strong. Honestly, Incan Eagle Warriors, underrated after the changes. Once you give them the Couriers upgrade, they're pretty sick. Castle Age Eagle Warriors are also fine. They're not amazing, but they're fine. They're situational, and if your opponents don't have masked knights, and god damn it, for those of you who've been watching my videos recently, you also know that for some reason my neighbor only takes showers when I'm streaming. What? Why does this keep happening to me? If you can hear it in the background, nothing I can do about that. I swear they just wait. Sometimes if I'm streaming on a different time, they'll still take a shower. What? They don't even know I stream. But here comes the Mamluks from McKay. That's pretty cool to see. I like that. McKay so far just... I mean, look at this team stone wall. This is ridiculous. I don't think I ever see Arabia played like this. These guys are playing Arabia like this Black Forest. But really, what Dubidap needs is multiple town centers just constantly pumping out villagers. And he's trying to do that. He really is. But there's always a hole in the wall. And here comes the Eagle Warriors. Once again, they're too tanky. 10 armor? Nothing. Nothing at all. There's an expected reference, yes, Roberto. Grim Jow asks, will you be doing more games after this one? Probably not, but we'll see. Depends how long this game goes. Saber Thurb asks, between the Korean, Spanish, and Incas, who's the strongest Trush? In my opinion, probably the Incas. Because of the discount stone cost on their watchtowers and all buildings, as well as the fact that their villagers that they bring forward benefit from blacksmith upgrades, and just, you know, they have a fairly consistent start with a free llama. Just a number of good things for them, and it's also not that hard to mix in Eagle Scouts with your Trush. Now, we've even seen Doubt do that recently. It's actually pretty good. Koreans have a good Trush, though, that's for sure, and the Spanish building them faster certainly helps as well. So, Dubidap very much dead. How do you save him? Doing exactly what Kaladin is doing. Now, I hope Dubidap does not resign because Kaladin, aka Telemachos, where's my Spirit of the Law intro music? It's coming. This army shits on Eagle Warriors. This is how you beat the Eagle Warriors, is you make champions, especially the Japanese ones with 25% faster attack speed is a huge DPS increase. It really, really is. Especially when you're dealing with units that have an attack bonus versus another one like the champions do versus the Eagle Warriors. Here's the problem, the Eagle Warriors are faster. There's also always a hole in the wall. Fuck. It's unfortunate, my friend. I don't even know if he has squires. These things are too fast. They get even faster when you make them Elite Eagle Warriors. Dubidap asking for cash money. He's going to need cash money to rebuild his TCs. Honestly, this game is not over. It is not over. Because Purple is, you know, he weakened himself a lot with this. If anyone ever gets to the Imperial Age, they can easily shred these down. Battering rams also pick these off quite easily. I mean, really one of the best ways to deal with the Korean Trush, and I've covered this in many other videos, is to try and like segment off your base with walls, restrict where your opponent can actually build said towers, and then just back away from them. Exploit the fact that they are not mobile. Also, counter them with your own defensive towers to try and, create a zone of denial. Like, let's say you build a defensive tower here. Your opponent can no longer build any towers in this area and threaten this lumber camp if you have a tower here already. So, and you can also garrison villagers inside that defensive tower to threaten the enemy tower and deal a lot of repetitive arrow damage. It's pretty good. Memoriam really just trying to carry this game to the best of his ability, but meanwhile, Pete up into the Imperial Age versus the Saracens. Now, I would say that in the later stages of the game, the Saracens can quite certainly come out on top of this matchup with the Elite Mamluk. Very, very expensive unit, one of the most expensive gold costing units in the game, quite difficult to mass up with all the upgrades required, but, the Burmese have a lot of trouble dealing with the Elite Mamluk. They almost can't entirely. You need Arbalest, like mass ranged units, to take advantage of that 0 pierce armor that they have. But you know what the Burmese don't have? They don't have Arbs, and they also have like no defense upgrades to their blacksmith. They only get padded archer armor, so they have a lot of trouble dealing with this. The Mamluk just like hard counters the Rambai. The Mamluk is so much faster and just it's a camel unit, right? Just eats these things. Now the Halberdiers are very, very good for the Burmese with their +3 attack for free, but they can also be kited. So if you back this up with like some hand cannoniers or something like that, this army will just get destroyed. And it's just that Pete is a little bit faster due to his stronger economy, so he has the advantage in the short term, but I expect McKay to come out on top of that matchup in the long run. Meanwhile, Dude really just desperately trying to build back in this game, but Memoriam, I'm just not letting him have any fun whatsoever, and I do have to say thank you to Dubedat for not resigning, because it's tough, right? It's tough. You gotta not tilt, and he's got the TCs, he just needs to build more. His teammates need to send him a little bit of resources, he needs to put in like 6 town centers and build back up as fast as possible, and pray the champions are enough to carry him. I mean, these Eagle Warriors, like, oh no, Memoriam's too good at Age of Empires 2, cut the video, it's over. It's too good. Yeah, he remembered he can make other units. Disaster! This army is very good versus champions. Believe it or not, the Kamiuk, there are 2 types of players in Aoe2. There are people who don't understand this unit and think it's garbage and think it's worse than champion, and like a halberdier. Or there are people who think this unit is like OP as fuck. Well, actually, are there people who even think that? This unit's good, and it's actually pretty good versus infantry, and that's because it has 1 range, which allows you to focus fire down enemy melee units and actually get the first shot. It also so turns out that these are really good stats. You should not just be comparing it to a halberdier, where, yeah, you're paying way more than you would. You're paying like 60 food and 30 gold. The shower's over. Woo. You're paying a lot more than you would. You're paying more than a champion for what seems to be a fatter halberdier. But I can't even begin to tell you how good +1 range is. It's a difficult unit to evaluate, really cool, and it's actually okay versus champions because of that. So, and Unfortunate says he thinks OP as fuck. Good on you, man. Okay, says need help soon. Yeah, really what McKay needs is time. I think he's making absolutely the correct units for the situation. I actually think Pete is too, to be clear. I don't think Pete has good answers to this matchup. Like, in the worst case scenario, he might have to mix in some siege weapons or some, like, elite skirms. But that sucks. Oh, well, see, there we go. See, again, these guys know how to play this matchup. I don't even need to say anything. I can just mute the video. I can just go set it to view lock. We have a chair stream where it's just my chair. Very nice. Well, now to Dubadap's like, I'm so weak, what can I do? I guess I can sling. I mean, his saving grace is that the Koreans player has no blacksmith upgrades, right? Like, he's been... I mean, what's his pop? Military pop is like... Yeah, it's like 20. Oh, you crazy, crazy madman. I love it. Shine on, you diamond. So, K doesn't have the numbers. What do the numbers mean, Mason? They're too small. They're too small. He's making the right units, absolutely, but Pete has way more military units. So as a result, this army is just going to fall apart at the seams and get overrun by these Rambai. And I think that's basically it, because Memoriam, master of all things Incas, knows what's up. He knows he can make multiple units. Bait your opponent into making tons of champions, because, well, I mean, Kaladin doesn't have a choice, right? Well, as soon as he sees this army knocking on his door, he's dead. He's dead as fuck. It's a very strong army versus infantry units. And I like that he's just using the Eagle Warriors, taking advantage of their mobility, and the Slingers are... A lot of people seem to think I hope that my videos encourage people to keep an open mind with balance and stop being so sure on things and understand that the Age of Empires 2 metagame has shifted all the time. People are still learning, and that knee-jerk bounce reactions are absurd. The amount of people who... a ton of people who are asking for the Vietnamese to get nerfed on release, so I just want to remind people that that was a thing. Slingers are good! They're actually good. They don't need an elite upgrade to be good. They just don't. They don't. This unit is fine. It's actually excellent. If there was an elite slinger, the Incas would be like the best civ in the game. The Incas are actually pretty good. They're just a difficult civ to evaluate. This unit, it's just, you have to compare it to, like, it's sort of like an Arbalest with some of the benefits of a hand cannoneer. You know, it's got the +10 versus infantry, which is fantastic. You know, it might seem like it's worse than a hand cannoneer, but you can't really compare it that way because it's really more similar to an Arbalest. And when we look at just the way the Incas, you have to look at a unit in the context of the entire tech tree. Look at, God, this guy knows how to play Incas. You see that heavy Scorpion getting all the pass-through damage? He is just making the Incas look good. I love you, man. Get chemistry, though. So, yeah, for the Incas, the Slinger is great. It doesn't need an elite upgrade. In fact, it's actually very powerful in the Castle Age. And in the Imperial Age, it's still good, too. So, the more you know. And now Purple is actually making military units. Now I can say that's GG. Alright, I am glad they played that out a little bit, but now it is GG. With the Incas moving in over here, I think Kaladin played a great game. I think they all did. McKay was so close. Like, he made the right units, but he just didn't have time. And here comes the Battle Elephants, too. What really lost in the game is that, unfortunately... Decisive never really got his feet off the ground, and that's because Element LF is on the new meta. The dude doesn't even have arrow slits. He doesn't even have arrow slits. I don't even know if Element LF knows that there is arrow slits, that you can get that technology, but you can. It's amazing. Arrow slits, for those of you who don't know, adds an additional 1 attack to watchtowers, 2 to guard towers, and 3 to keeps, which happens to be really good if your towers have additional range or you put some units in them, or even if you don't, it's still pretty good. It's also fairly cheap technology. Granted, it doesn't see much competitive play after it was nerfed, after it was insanely OP available in the Castle Age and providing double the set of bonuses. Never thought to see a meta where keeps were broken, but it happened. Honestly, don't blame anybody, though, because really, I never thought the day would come. Tech is still pretty good value here, and it's just cool to see the keeps seeing so much play. Yeah, I mean, in this situation, Decisive just got pressured a lot, and I think that it came down to some really, really good execution and fights from these two, combined with Purple's completely neutralizing Red. Like, if this fight where Pete was kind of doing the Matrix and 1v3ing, if that went poorly, then this would have been a completely different game. Then Decisive would have had the space that he needed to build back into the game, and potentially stage a comeback. But that battle was way too close. Memoriam, consistently during this game, was where he needed to be all the time. And he even gets chemistry. 10 out of 10 Incas play. I don't know what I'm going to title the video. I never know what to title it anymore, so I put a bunch of shit in here. I hope people watch the game.
Yes.
This is how you play Incas. I hope this proves to people, not that this civ is OP, but that this civ is just good. It's just good. The Incas are flexible. They have a bizarre set of bonuses that are very difficult to evaluate, and they're adaptable. They've got a push, and Memoriam really just leveraged all of his bonuses so well. The only thing we did... And he's in the pocket, too. People always tell me pocket Incas are bad, and it's a little worse than most civs, but it's not unplayable when you've got God at the wheel. Nice. Nice. Look at Pat says, God, Pink is still trushing. Never stop. Never change. The only thing this proves to do says that they were better players. I stand by that the Incas are pretty good. And any expert player would back that up. But also, yeah, they played a really good game. I think you did too. I think you made some good plays going into Purple's base and trying to apply some pressure there. Like this video might make people think that the mass keeps thing is OP as fuck. It is not. I assure you. And I did try to answer that correctly by restricting where these towers could be built. You know, with walls. He tried to segment his base, and he actually did segment his base. The additional range, though, on the watchtowers really did give him a lot of trouble, I would say. Really harassing his villagers, and also the way the Purple had his base set up. Decisive didn't have that much of an opportunity to pick off that many villagers. But there was really a time, though, when it looked like purple was going to die and that Decisive was going to be totally fine. And it came down to that fight in this base where it was 3 versus Pete. Pete was doing all the Matrix moves, and then he's about to lose that fight in suddenly Memoriam. You know, we got to give major credit to our Yellow Incas player for just being always in the right place. And I think knowing where to send your troops takes a lot of game sense, and that's something that Memoriam demonstrated really well here. So hopefully you all enjoyed watching this one as much as I did. I thought this was a great game. McKay was so close to being able to defeat Pete's army. So close. He's making exactly the correct units. And seeing him transition to the Castle Age like that was sick. But he didn't have enough time. He just didn't. The Burmese push is faster. Even though I think the Saracens have an excellent arsenal of tools to deal with it, the Burmese push is faster. The Battle Elephants thing is a cool thought. You know, normally it would be quite bad versus the elite Mamluks, but Pete knows that he needs to close the game out, right? So, and he knows that McKay never had enough of a chance to make sufficiently large army of Mamluks. And until you get that many, these battle elephants destroy everything, especially for the Burmese. You know, I don't know if he had the technology that makes their cavalry units deal like +6 versus buildings, like Aoe2 or something like that. Is it Aoe2? No, it's mana per cavalry, I think. I should probably check that. Check it real fast. Oh, they have both. It's mana per cavalry. He knew that this would be a great way to close the game, also awkwardly forced McKay into monks, which was the correct answer that he did, but again, he just didn't have enough time, so if we just gave McKay like 3 more minutes... McKay, this game was like Millhouse Mana Storm. He's like, just, if only I had a little bit more mana. He would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for that pesky Burmese timing push. It's too fast. Pete wins this game. It's just it's a really, really excellent game here, and a really crazy tower rush, and a lot of great plays on all sides. There are many, many points in this game where it could have gone differently. Great game to watch. McKay, always 1 mana short. You were like 1 mana short, man. Just that innervate nerf. Burmese too fast. We look at that army size from both Pete and McKay. To put it into perspective, it's just they never really got to that large army stage of the game. I really do think the Saracens come out on top there, but there's that window where the Burmese get there faster. And, well, yeah. As a result, came out on top. Decisive killed a lot of units for having a largest army of 6. Just goes to show how costly all the fighting underneath his town centers was. Good to see his teammates actually sending him tribute so he could build back, and it was good to see him like trying to build as many town centers as he could to build back. There were so many times where he almost recovered, and then everything changed when Memoriam attacked. Truly a vicious Incas player. Great game. I don't know what to title this. There's a lot of things. I'll probably do what I've been doing recently, which is I'll put 3 things in the title. So what is this? Flawless Incas play. Korean Super Trush. And the importance of scouting. I don't know. Free Llama's pretty good. I didn't even get to show it that game. Well, hope you've all been enjoying the live stream today. It's been my pleasure. If you have been, I would really appreciate if you take a moment to follow me on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. For those of you who crave more Age of Empires action, and you're like, damn, I wish Rez could stream all day, and he didn't have horrible asthma and allergies. Well, good news for you is I have over 600 videos on YouTube. And I bet you haven't watched all of them. If you have, I love you. If you haven't, I love you too, and you can watch them. I will put my social links in the chat. If you would like to support the channel, besides doing the obvious thing, which you guys have been great with, so thank you so much. I know who you are. I read all the comments. Thank you. Besides leaving a like and a comment, one of the best ways to support the channel is to give the content that I do for other games a chance. So if you take the time out of your busy day to check those out, leave me some feedback, a thumbs up rating, and watch, for example, some of my Pokemon Showdown Lives, or that Kirby thing, or Heroes with Friends, etc. You can find the variety playlist in the video description below. That is one of the best ways to motivate me to continue producing Age of Empires content, as well as just grow the Age of Empires community. Everyone knows what Age of Empires is. Nobody knows that people still play this game. If more people knew that, that'd be amazing. So, let's build the AoE community. Help me keep my sanity. I appreciate it. Like, when I was wearing my my Age of Empires Definitive Edition shirt to the airport like a couple months ago, oh my god, there's so many random people like, hey, I remember Age of Empire. You know, they're not actually that old. They're like my... Some of them are, I don't know, they're like 7 people. Some of them were my age. Some of them were like 40. They're like, oh, I remember Age of Empires. Like, dude, are they still making Age of Empires games? Some actually, like, gangster people on the street were like, yo, what's up with that shirt, Resonance? They didn't say Resonance because they didn't know my name. They said dude or something like that. Like, do they still make Age of Empires games? That was the shit in my childhood. And I was like, yes, they do. October 19th. Age of Empires, DM. Been shilling this game since I was in 1st grade. Age of Empires is a good game. Let's shill it together. Support the channel. As of this recording, I'm 23. Thank you, Jay Pence going to do his part supporting the channel by sending me 1 bit. Thank you, Jay Pence, for the penny. I'll put that in my pizza fund. Thank you. Thank you, Wriggles World, for the 500 bits. Really appreciate it. Hope to see all of you in the future. And you know, one of the things that you can do as well is just leave me a comment telling me what if I said anything that was useful advice or just things you like about my style. Always helps me do a better job. I'll definitely post this one on YouTube since I am sick. That'll be all for today. Yeah, you guys have been wonderful. If there are any quick questions that anyone has for me before I go, let me know. But stay tuned in case like Mem turns his stream back on or something. I'll host him. Element, you madman. You madman. That game was... You were playing some video games there. That's what you were doing. You're pressing the buttons. You were just... Oh, don't forget arrow slits next time you do that, because that was... Your strategy was awesome. But don't forget arrow slits, okay? That's like an Imperial Age technology. At that point, it wouldn't have mattered, but it would have been cute. Like, that was the only thing, like, for maximum flavor, Element LF, is like, you're at 99% spiciest dish, hottest mixtape of 2017. The hottest Korean mixtape I'd ever seen. 99% of the way there. But you gotta get arrow slits. It's the topping. It's the little mint leaf that you put on top of the dessert. That's what that is. Okala Laponics asks, are you going to play with the viewers next time again? I will definitely play on stream again in the future, for sure. I mean, I do it every now and then. But I don't know if I'll do it next stream. Maybe? It's certainly possible. By the time I post this on YouTube, my Age of Empires Definitive Edition video will probably be out. Right now I'm working on that. Thank you, by the way, I think I already thanked Wriggles World for the 500 bits. Thanks for $5. Oh, whoa, Jay Pence! Thank you for the $10! Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, man. It's okay, Element. Everyone figured out what arrow slits is ever since I've been to the Imperial Age. So I haven't played Fortnite, the True Jordan. Is that the Epic Games game? Haven't seen it. Don't know that. Oh, no, I've seen ads for this on Twitch. I haven't played it. When is the Guild Wars stream? We'll see. I haven't had that much time to play Path of Fire. I've been very busy just with work. Just really, really busy with work and also just producing content. I'd really like to do some more Pokemon stuff, to be honest. But I need to make a tutorial for that. And again, I rely on your support, so... Thank you for being awesome. Thank you, Motham, as well, for $30. This says, won't be around for a few weeks. Here's some money. Oh man, you guys are the best. Seriously, thank you. If you do send me a donation, and no one will actually watch the end of this YouTube video, if you do, then you can type banana in your comment or something. If you send me a donation and I'm not streaming, I will send you a thank you email, assuming the donation's like larger than like $2. Thank you, Bronagel, for the host. Yeah, I've mostly just been playing like Pokemon and Hearthstone. I've been playing a little bit of Path of Fire, a little bit of Empires Apart. Still waiting for Prismata sometime in my life. A little bit of Armello, Rivals of Aether. Pokken tournaments, something I want to play. I want to play Hollow Knight. There's too many games I need to play. We'll get her done. Alright, thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm going to run a quick ad, and that's the end of the stream today. And I will probably host somebody. Love you too, GJ, Jazzy, Worm, and Jeff. Yeah, I'll host someone. Just going to run a quick ad. Kudos the Viper, he needs the viewers. Have you guys heard of him? He's a fairly new streamer. Up and coming player, I would say. He's pretty good at Age of Empires too. Most people would say he's certainly above average, yes. Kidding, of course the Viper's amazing.